Democrats and the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
A shocking dispute in daytime television has shaken the industry as veteran co-host Joy Behar officially exits The View following a flurry of lawsuits and social media chaos. Behar, one of the most prominent and outspoken faces of the show, has left under mysterious circumstances, sparking a whirlwind of rumors and controversy. What could have led to the departure of such a powerful figure in television? The situation is full of irony, finger-pointing, and surprising twists. Buckle up, because this drama is far from over, and the details behind her exit have set the world ablaze.
I was stunned and amazed by his new White House spokeswoman today. She's actually the youngest ever in that.
It all started during a recent The View episode, known for its fiery debates. While discussing Karoline Leavitt, the newly appointed White House press secretary under Donald Trump, Joy Behar made a comment that left everyone stunned. Behar suggested that Leavitt's appearance was the only reason she was hired. Yes, you read that right.
Karoline Leavitt, she's just 27 years old. But boy, was she giving it to the Trump haters in her first White House.
What started as a slight quickly escalated into full-blown controversy. At just 27, Leavitt became the youngest person ever to serve as White House press secretary. Despite her age, she boasts an impressive resume, having worked as a communications director for major Republican campaigns, and even in Trump's first administration. However, Behar chose to focus on Leavitt's appearance rather than her qualifications, sparking outrage. The audience gasped, and some of Behar's co-hosts visibly appeared uncomfortable. Former Trump administration employee Elisa Farrah Griffin swiftly responded, pointing out that it was Leavitt's first press briefing, not her first job. If the live reaction was tense, the social media firestorm that followed was even more heated. Criticism flooded in from all political sides, with many pointing out the hypocrisy of Behar's remarks, especially considering her long history of championing feminism and women's empowerment. One user noted the inconsistency, while another commented that Republicans would face severe backlash if they had said something even remotely similar. The controversy ignited further when critics argued that The View only supports women who share their political views, revealing the stark divide in how women are treated based on their political affiliations.
I had something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something.
The situation didn't end there. Instead of issuing a statement, Leavitt took an aggressive stance, suing Behar for defamation and character assassination. Leavitt couldn't ignore the impact of Behar's comments, and this lawsuit became a bombshell. It was a direct hit to both Behar and ABC, the network behind The View, accusing them of making spiteful and false remarks intended to damage Leavitt's reputation.
Because women were not invited to that.
Behind the scenes at ABC, chaos was reportedly unfolding as executives scrambled to navigate the growing controversy surrounding The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg. With intense public backlash and a lawsuit looming, ABC found itself in a difficult position, unsure whether to issue a public apology, suspend Goldberg, or take the drastic step of cutting ties with her altogether. Staff members at The View were divided. Some rushed to defend Goldberg, while others quietly acknowledged the situation had spiraled out of control. What made the situation even more high stakes was a combination of the lawsuit and mounting public outrage, forcing ABC into a precarious position. This wasn't the first time Goldberg had been at the center of controversy, but this time, the stakes were much higher. The legal implications of the case were compounded by the ever-growing backlash, putting ABC at risk of a full-blown reputation crisis they couldn't afford to ignore. Meanwhile, reports surfaced that ABC executives were holding emergency meetings for days, desperately trying to find a solution, their nerves fraying under the pressure. Insiders revealed that executives feared the lawsuit could snowball into something far more damaging, potentially severely harming the network's reputation. Situation was made even more volatile by comments made on The View. One particularly controversial angle raised eyebrows when certain staff members implied that Goldberg had secured her position more due to her appearance than her qualifications, an ironic point given the show's own history of casting decisions based on looks. This only added fuel to the already explosive situation. ABC now had to juggle internal loyalty to Goldberg with the growing external pressure to take swift, decisive action. The network's leadership found themselves walking on eggshells, unsure how to handle this delicate and unpredictable crisis without triggering even more backlash. The atmosphere within ABC was described as tense, with uncertainty clouding every decision. Meanwhile, the internal turmoil within The View became more apparent. leaving executives in a critical moment as they decided how to proceed with a host who would become both a key figure on the show and a lightning rod for controversy. The severity of the lawsuit and the public outrage demanded action, but the exact path forward remained uncertain. What was clear, however, was that ABC was caught in a web of its own making, where the stakes for both the reputation of The View and the network as a whole were higher than ever. The pressure was on, and every decision made would shape the future of the show and the network itself.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on...
The turmoil surrounding The View wasn't confined to the executive suite. It reverberated through staff, who found themselves deeply divided into two distinct camps over the controversy involving co-host Joy Behar's comments about actress and activist Karoline Leavitt on one side. A number of Behar's colleagues stood fiercely loyal to her. They argued that while Behar's remark was undoubtedly inappropriate, it didn't warrant the intense and widespread backlash it had provoked. To them, the comment, made in the heat of the moment, could be seen as a misunderstanding rather than an outright attack. They believed Behar's long-standing presence on The View, as an outspoken voice in support of women's rights and social justice, should provide context for her slip-up. These supporters felt that the backlash had become disproportionate, and the punishment didn't fit the offense on the other hand. There was a camp of staffers who believed that Behar's remark about Leavitt crossed a clear line and was completely indefensible. This group, particularly disillusioned by Behar's long-standing reputation as a champion of women's achievements, argued that her comment about Leavitt undermined everything she had publicly advocated for. Behar, they noted, had been vocal about supporting women's empowerment and fighting for gender equality. Yet, her comment about Leavitt's appearance seemed to contradict those values. To this camp, the nature of Behar's remark was not only damaging to the View's public image, but also sent a troubling message about how women were viewed, particularly in the context of a show that had long positioned itself as a feminist platform. One anonymous staffer was quoted saying that while Behar's comments had caused controversy in the past, this particular incident felt different, more serious, more damaging, and with no clear path to recovery, this internal divide created a tense, toxic work environment. As the staffers grew more polarized, whispers spread about whether other co-hosts might face repercussions for their involvement in or passive acceptance of Behar's comments. The internal strife, combined with external backlash, made the situation increasingly difficult for ABC to manage. The legal implications of Behar's remark became even more pressing as the lawsuit filed by Leavitt in response to the comments took center stage. Legal experts quickly began weighing in, offering their analysis of the situation. One of the key questions at the heart of the legal dispute was whether Behar's words could be classified as defamation. Some legal professionals argued that Leavitt's lawsuit had strong merit, particularly given the personal nature of the comment about her appearance. They suggested that Behar's statement could be considered an attack on Leavitt's character, which would be a potential violation of defamation law. However, other legal experts cautioned that Leavitt might face challenges in proving malice, a critical component in defamation cases involving public figures. Defamation law generally requires the plaintiff to demonstrate that the defendant made the statements with knowledge of their falsity or with reckless disregard for the truth, a standard that could prove difficult for Leavitt to meet, given that some might argue Behar's remarks were made in the heat of the moment, rather than with malicious intent regardless of the legal complexities. The battle ahead was expected to be messy. The potential for a prolonged and costly court case loomed large, with the possibility of dragging ABC into the crossfire. Legal analysts suggested that even if the network tried to distance itself from Behar, they might still be held partially responsible because the controversial remark had been aired on their platform. Some legal experts argued that ABC's failure to intervene or prevent the comment from being broadcast could make the network liable for amplifying harm caused by the statement. This added a layer of urgency to the crisis for ABC, which now had to consider its potential exposure in a lawsuit and the broader reputational fallout. As ABC executives grappled with the consequences, there were murmurs that the show's management and legal teams were worried about the precedent set by allowing such a comment to air without consequence. If ABC allowed Behar's actions to go unaddressed, it could signal to both viewers and the media that the network was willing to tolerate comments that cross a line, further damaging their reputation. The network's leadership was faced with the uncomfortable reality that the situation was spiraling, and the longer it went unaddressed, the more difficult it would become to contain. Some insiders speculated that ABC might ultimately have to take significant steps to mitigate their risk. This could include issuing public statements, reevaluating internal review processes, or even reconsidering their relationship with Behar. The question of whether Behar's remark could have lasting legal and reputational consequences for both The View and ABC remained at the forefront of the crisis. As the debate unfolded, the atmosphere within the network grew increasingly strained, with no clear resolution in sight. What was certain, however, was that this was no ordinary scandal. It wasn't just a case of a co-host making an inappropriate remark. It was a complex web of personal loyalties, public backlash, and legal uncertainties that placed the future of both The View and ABC in jeopardy. The divide among staffers only added to the sense of uncertainty. And as ABC continued to navigate the storm, the full extent of the fallout from Behar's comment and the potential ramifications for everyone involved remained very much in flux. The crisis was far from over, and ABC's next moves would be critical in determining whether the network could weather the storm or if this controversy would irreparably damage its image.
It's not. So first of all, and I have had my objections to the job that Karine Jean-Pierre did, but she worked in politics for 21 years, 5 presidential campaigns, and worked in 2 administrations.
Amid the ongoing controversy, Jennifer Leavitt has remained in the public spotlight, using her platform to double down on her criticism of The View co-host Joy Behar. In an exclusive interview with a conservative media outlet, Leavitt called Behar's remark not only sexist, but also deeply unprofessional. She seized a moment to defend herself, emphasizing that her appointment as press secretary was earned through merit, not based on her appearance. Leavitt's statement energized her supporters, many of whom praised her poise and commended her for standing up against what they saw as a baseless attack. Just days after Leavitt filed her lawsuit, ABC made an unexpected announcement. Behar was leaving The View. The timing immediately fueled speculation that Behar's departure was not voluntary, but rather driven by external pressure, particularly with the looming legal action. ABC's statement, while vague, claimed Behar had decided to step away and wished her the best. However, insiders suggested that ABC executives had effectively pushed Behar out to protect the future of the show. While The View had weathered numerous controversies before, this particular scandal seemed to be a step too far for the network. The public's reaction to Behar's exit was mixed. Some saw it as overdue accountability for her controversial remarks. One fan even suggested canceling ABC entirely to address the network's issues, while another expressed disbelief that The View had ever aired in the first place. On the other hand, longtime viewers of The View mourned the loss of one of the show's most outspoken and controversial voices. They argued that Behar's departure was a result of political pressure, and that ABC had caved to outside influences. Conservative commentators framed the situation as a rare moment of accountability, viewing Behar's departure as a victory in what they perceive as a biased media landscape. The entire situation has placed ABC in a difficult position, with many questioning whether Behar's departure was a voluntary decision or a strategic move by the network to protect its reputation and secure the future of The View. As the fallout continues, the debate rages on, leaving the network to navigate a complex web of public opinion, internal division, and legal uncertainty.
Leavitt is the press secretary at the White House, doing a great job. Such a great job that the ladies of The View feel the green monster coming upon.
Let's not overlook the irony in all of this. Joy Behar has spent years positioning herself as a staunch advocate for women's rights and empowerment, often criticizing others for making dismissive or harmful comments about women. She has built much of her career on speaking out against sexism and standing up for the achievements and voices of women across various fields. Yet, in one moment, she managed to contradict everything she had worked to champion, undermining her own credibility. The hypocrisy of her remark about Jennifer Leavitt, a comment that echoed the very behavior she had spent so much of her career railing against, has not gone unnoticed. Critics have pointed out the glaring inconsistency in Behar's actions, suggesting that her comment about Leavitt was a prime example of the type of belittling dismissal of women that she herself had so often condemned as added an extra layer of complexity to an already volatile situation, as Behar's defenders are now forced to confront the fact that she fell into the same trap of sexism she once decried. The controversy has put The View in an incredibly difficult position moving forward. Behar was not just a co-host. She was one of the defining voices of the show, known for her outspoken and often controversial opinions. Her departure leaves a significant void that ABC must carefully consider. How to fill the network now faces a delicate task, deciding who, if anyone, will take Behar's place. Will they opt for another outspoken liberal voice to maintain the show's dynamic, or will they try to balance the panel by introducing a more conservative perspective to broaden its appeal? Either way, it's clear that The View is facing an uphill battle to regain public trust. The show's credibility has taken a hit, and ABC will need to work hard to rebuild its image while navigating the difficult terrain of public opinion and internal dynamics. The fallout from this scandal has left many questioning the future direction of the show. It's uncertain whether the network can recover from the damage to its reputation. Whatever steps ABC takes next, it's clear that the road ahead will not be easy. The View will need to confront not only its internal challenges, but also the broader public backlash that has followed this controversy. The network's next moves will determine whether it can regain its footing or whether the scars from the scandal will linger.
They don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked.
As for Joy Behar, her future remains uncertain. The question now is whether she will fight back against a lawsuit and try to clear her name, or she will quietly step away from the spotlight, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most polarizing figures in daytime television. Behar has long been a central, outspoken presence on The View, known for her bold opinions and unfiltered approach to discussing current events. However, with the public backlash over her controversial comment about Jennifer Leavitt and the subsequent lawsuit, her career has reached a crossroads. Will Behar mount a strong defense, or will she take a step back to avoid further controversy? Her fate now seems to hang in the balance, and the decision she makes could shape the course of her professional life moving forward. As for Leavitt, her decision to sue Behar has undoubtedly raised her public profile, but has also thrust her into the center of a media frenzy. While many see her as a victim of Behar's comments, others question whether this legal battle will ultimately work in her favor or backfire. Some wonder if Leavitt can maintain her momentum and public support, especially as the controversy continues to escalate. What adds to the complexity is the scrutiny Leavitt faces regarding her appearance. While undeniably qualified for a role, she is also being criticized for her looks, with some conservative voices using her appearance as ammunition in the ongoing conservative versus liberal debate. It's a curious dynamic where her attractiveness has become part of the conversation, with attacks on conservatives becoming more pointed, turning the issue into something beyond her qualifications. One thing is certain: this drama is far from over. The fallout from Behar's exit, combined with the ongoing lawsuit, will likely dominate headlines for weeks, if not months, to come. With public trust in mainstream media already at an all-time low, this controversy could be the tipping point for The View. The show has always thrived on polarized, high-energy discussions, but this scandal may prove to be its undoing. The question now is whether The View will be able to recover from this blow, or if it marks the beginning of the end for one of television's most iconic talk shows. Did ABC make the right decision by letting Behar go? Or was she unfairly pushed out in response to mounting external pressure? Can The View survive without one of its most infamous hosts? These are the burning questions surrounding the show's future as the drama unfolds. Viewers are left to speculate about the long-term effects of Behar's departure and Leavitt's lawsuit. The once stable dynamic of the show has been shaken to its core, and it's unclear if The View can rebuild itself from the rubble. So, what do you think? Did ABC make the right call by letting Behar go, or was she unfairly pushed out? Can The View recover from the scandal, or is this the beginning of its end? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest updates on this explosive story. With twists, turns, and jaw-dropping revelations sure to follow, this is just the beginning of what promises to be a long and dramatic saga. Stay tuned for more updates as the story continues to unfold. Thank you for watching Celeb News.